Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco, Dish Out on the Movies, and today we are doing a review slash kind of recap of Masterchef, Season 13, Episode 10, Dodger Stadium Field Challenge. That's right, they're at Dodger Stadium today, and of course, that's in LA, and I just want to tell you right off the top, personally, I don't like these outdoor challenges, because the chefs are going to get mad, and they're going to get their food, and they're going to say, this is awful, this is overcooked, this is undercooked, this is raw, this is that, and then they throw the food out onto the beautifully pruned, nicely finished off field, where the grounds crew are going to have to look for this whatever piece of meat or more than one piece of meat on the ground where the chefs threw them, unless they pick them up themselves or their staff does. So today we have Colby from last week who won the immunity pins. So he is not going to be a team captain per se. He is going to trade the judges put the regions into two teams. One is a red team and one is a blue team. And the blue team is the South and the West. Yeah. And I think
the red team
is the rest.
No, because the blue is the South and the Northeast.
Okay.
Which is two people.
And then the other side is the other two regions. But the twist and the advantage, at least I guess Colby, if he wants to do an advantage for his region, is he had to trade two people. So he traded off
Bryn, the suicidal girl,
for the schooly girl, who's Kennedy, and then
your master crush.
And then I thought there was another one.
No,
or were those were just the two people?
Safi, did he make a good choice?
No, he didn't.
Well, she didn't hurt them. The biggest thing, and it just drove Marco and me crazy. We've been talking about it all morning, and between all the other things that we've been doing, and that is each team's menu choices. Now, the deal was that their goal was to cook. The chefs instructed them they had to have like an entree / meat dish, a side, and a what do they call it? Well, they had to have like a side, like French fries, for example, and a main course would be something that you cook on the grill, apparently, and then the other one would be another. What would you call it? Another side, I guess.
Oh, what would you call it? So I thought that, first off, since Safi rudely interrupted me, I think that Colby, he kind of made a stupid choice, not because of getting Safi's master crush, but just for the fact that he's like, I don't want to break up the South. And after the episode, it's like,
yeah,
maybe you should have broken up the South a little bit because, yeah.
For some reason, he thinks he has a really strong team, and he might be the strongest player on the team. But as far as the rest of the team, I'm not so sure anymore. I thought the Alabama girl, because she was very strong at the very top of the show, but to me,
we'll talk about her,
but she's not as strong as I once thought she was.
It's like the South is, they're the Confederacy, they'll only be broken up when they're forced to break up,
I suppose.
Yeah.
Maybe
it's true,
but
that's what they're doing.
It's a shame because Well, we'll talk about it. So, like I said, their menu choices. You have Marco calls her a Karen.
And she has 6 kids.
And it's Jennifer, the blonde woman who had made that apple cake.
She has 6 kids.
She said, I think she said it twice. This should be easy. I have 6 kids, and then and another contestant, I think it was the Alabama girl.
She has 6 kids.
She has 6 kids, so she ought to be implying she's going to be a lot of help with this. No, she wasn't, because the menu that they chose included 2 vegetables.
I'd say, Safi,
For a lunch for 100 kids.
I would say, and now this might be a little daring, out of every Masterchef season I've seen, and out of every Masterchef Junior season I've seen, this is the worst outdoor challenge menu I've ever seen that they came up with. Because I thought, there's no kid who wants this shit. This is a terrible menu. It's embarrassing. It would be an okay menu if you were doing like an outdoor lunch for pretentious critic people.
For adults.
But not for children who come to the baseball stadium. Like, the thing is, though, is that I was thinking, like, what would I make? I would want to make brats. Which they probably don't have because...
No, California I don't think is a brat kind of place.
I would want to make brats and fucking corn. I don't know.
Corn would go good because that's a vegetable that they probably have in California, every other vegetable. And I don't know, and it's funny because you're talking about the South and, what'd you say, the Northeast? And they're not really...
Oh, you mean the Northeastern...
Vegetable oriented.
You mean the one Northeastern person there.
Yeah, and so here they are cooking 2 vegetables. If you take your child to, if you go, or take a child, do you order grilled chicken for the most part? How many times, I think maybe one time, in like the last 10 years, I've been on this medication, I've said before, there was hardly anything I liked to eat, whether it be savory or sweet. So we went to a lot of different places, and I basically picked out fried chicken, which is KFC, and what else? Fish fillet at McDonald's, and nothing else. I couldn't stand the burgers. I couldn't stand bread.
Now,
and so think about your children.
Well,
let's say you could just take them once a year.
I was a child, and when I was in 3rd grade, that's when I started liking chicken sandwiches and going to Wendy's and getting their chicken sandwich over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And it took me until like 8th grade or 9th grade to even try the grilled chicken sandwich at Wendy's.
And I think I had Marco, because he was doing that just recently, because this would have been recent years. I tried grilled chicken once, I think, and I did not like it. And the only thing I liked was KFC's fried chicken, because it was all every time we went twice a week. And I haven't been there lately, but we used to go twice a week, and I never had a bad fried chicken there. So what do you think, if you are going to make chicken, what do you think you would make for children? What do you think they would like? Grilled chicken with cheese on it, or fried chicken?
And also, we should mention the greatest grilled chicken sandwich, which was at the Upstairs restaurant.
Yes, at near Yosemite Park, it was
at Bass Lake, and the place where the Great Outdoors movie was filmed. A terrible, mediocre movie, but they had this upstairs restaurant and a downstairs restaurant. The upstairs restaurant was better, and they had great food and great service.
Marco will never forget it because he had the best food of his life there.
I had a root beer float. Well, it wasn't the best food, but it was
one
great.
Of the best because you really remember it.
That's because I remember the next day when I wasn't allowed to get it again. I had a root beer float, and I had a chicken sandwich, grilled chicken, with a piece of ghost pepper cheese, spicy mayo, and toppings. And it was perfect. I didn't even have any fries. You can see it in the picture. And the next day was really hilarious, though. Because Safi had a little mishap in public, and then we came home from that, and we were like, oh, what are we going to have for dinner? And I said, well, I'd just like to go to that upstairs restaurant and either pick up the food or eat there and come back. And Safi said, no, you will go to the general store, which is next to the restaurant, and you will get a frozen pizza on your vacation and eat the frozen pizza for dinner.
Because we had a little kitchen. We were staying in like a cabin.
I was like, Safi, are you serious? And she was like, yeah, I am. And sorry, but you're not going to get to eat at the great upstairs restaurant.
I didn't care for the upstairs restaurant.
Oh, I did. And you didn't even eat it. You couldn't because you were sick.
Yeah, I couldn't eat my...
That was fucked up, Safi. Who the hell would go on a vacation and you have a restaurant and a general store and you say, you know what I want to... You know what we should do for dinner? Frozen pizza. That's great vacation food, Safi. It's just great.
Okay, well, let's get off of that. Go back to Masterchef.
That was fucked
Marco
up.
has disparaged me once again. And for something happened a million years ago, but he did love the grilled chicken they made. And he showed me, he had actually taken a picture with his phone.
Yeah, that's how much I liked it.
And they had, the vegetables, because it's California, they had huge pieces of lettuce, huge red onions, and tomatoes to go with it. And it did look really good. But this chicken, from the very beginning of the episode, and like I said, I don't like these outdoor challenges, it didn't look good. The chicken sandwich looked like crap. And what they were using for the cheese was the slices, that you get at the store, like Kraft or whatever, slices of cheese. That's what they were using, which is kind of surprising, since it's California, and they just have a lot of fresh everything, and I don't know, I just thought it just didn't look good. And who was cooking them?
The last grill guy remaining.
Yeah, and there's not, and they don't have any grill people there.
Yeah, they're gone.
They're all gone now. And because, well, that's giving it away, but this guy was a grill master. They had millions of competitions, and he'd come out on top. And he even said, like, I don't know if it's because he had to cook 100 grilled pieces of... No, I know what he did. What did he say? He had to reverse sear them or something.
It was so pretentious. It was so retarded. Not even Chef Aaron and Chef Joe, or Joe's not a chef.
He's a restaurateur.
I think both or one of them did not even know that this existed. Reverse searing, which I just thought sounded like something that like a pretentious douchebag would do.
And so whatever did it didn't work.
It was a fail.
Chicken was dried out.
Yeah.
It didn't look good.
It looked awful.
Every time let's talk about the other team's menu. So they had two.
No, we haven't gone through. We haven't talked about the sauce. Your master crush did a sauce.
No, she isn't my...
Yeah, she is.
No.
You dream about her.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, Marco.
And her sauces. Well, she said she likes sauces. She likes to make lots of sauce. And it's like, yeah. And, and she made a sauce, and she used all the mayonnaise. But that's not the worst part. The worst part is...
for the fries.
The Viking girl, the only Northeast person there on that team, she wanted to make a creamy red cabbage slaw. Now,
who eats red cabbage slaw? But who eats it with...
What's that?
I don't know.
That must have been from upstairs.
I don't know.
That wasn't from in here. Now I'm gonna have to put a headphones warning on the fucking video.
Okay, well, whatever. Sorry about that. That happened before. I don't know what that's from.
It wasn't from us.
I think it has to be.
No, Safi, don't do that. So anyways, I'll tell you guys this. I never even tried coleslaw until I was age 23 or 22. Because the first time I tried it was with a couple of people, and we went to Raising Cane's. It was 2021, and I tried it. And from then on, I like it. But I've never had red cabbage slaw once yet.
And I've had cooked red cabbage for like Christmas or Thanksgiving. And it's like a German thing here, red cabbage. And you eat it with German food.
And I wouldn't want it to be creamy. I would want it to be vinegary.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never had a creamed red cabbage in my life.
So that was bizarre.
And I've had lots of different coleslaws, lots. And so that was bizarre. And then they had a carrot salad. And I was talking with Marco, the last time I had a carrot salad, which is really good, was at the Russian Tea Room in Chicago.
Yeah, I also had it there.
And it is really good.
It's 2017.
But that's not children eating carrot salad. That's adults. And it was delicious, but I don't think they care for it. And they want that at like a picnic thing at Dodger Stadium as a side. And it's 2 vegetables, too. But they did have French fries. I don't know who made them, because the schoolie girl made the sauce that she was making to go with French fries, of all things.
And Safi, I just thought this meal...
The menu was horrendous.
It's for the birds.
It was horrendous.
And I was so angry that from the very beginning of the episode, I was like, I want the blue team to lose right now. I want them to lose. I don't care. Like, this menu just pisses me off. Nothing about it says children to me.
And I'm just trying to think of all the people on that team, who's a parent?
Well, that one woman, she has 6 kids.
Okay, so I don't think Colby has any kids. I don't think he's married. The Alabama girl isn't married and doesn't have kids.
She is kind of like a kid,
though. The girl
though.
doesn't have kids.
She's like a big kid, that Alabama girl.
The New Orleans woman, she may have children. And she did suggest, but this was after the fact, they couldn't do anything about it then. She suggested fried chicken, that would be the thing. That would have been about 1,000 times better.
And you think, too.
But the guy and the girl said no.
What's hilarious is...
Too late.
The southern people, they're like, no, we're not going to make fried chicken. We're going to make grilled chicken. Like,
and what does Kentucky Fried Chicken come from? Doesn't that come from the South?
I can't remember.
I think it does. Colonel Sanders?
But southern people, they make fried chicken. Like, they don't make grilled chicken.
No. It's just like going to get tea. Do you get regular tea? No, you get sweet tea. That's a southern thing.
I wouldn't drink sweet tea.
It's too sweet. Too sweet. Anyway.
So
it's bizarre.
That was a disaster.
The other team made... Now, there was one problem with their menu, too. They made smash burgers. Now, I don't know why that's such a drawing thing.
They're basically like the burgers at Steak and Shake, it looks like.
Well, you have a regular bun, a regular patty, and I guess you have this tool that smashes it where it kind of comes out. It's not even and nice on the edges. It's all smashed out. And that's a smash burger. Well, the biggest problem is they had 45 minutes to go, and the guy cooking the burgers, he was already cooking them. They had 45 minutes to go. By the time the meal started, they would have been all burned and dried out and gross.
Yeah.
So he got in trouble, but it ended up, they changed their ways, he changed it up, and he started cooking them. And I mean, at the regular time. But they were a little bit like, they were a little bit unsure of when to start them. And I can understand that. You know, like when you're cooking a big holiday meal and you have to have everything warm at the same time and cooked at the same time. That's what they had that. That's what it reminded me of. That they were a little unsure of themselves.
They also had a coleslaw, which they just picked that. And I don't know why.
I don't know why.
It looked good. I would have eaten it.
The children didn't say anything about any of the vegetables.
Yeah, nobody even mentioned the coleslaw.
Any of the coleslaw.
I bet that Chef Gordon probably laughed at like the kids being like, "Yeah, I'm gonna eat a bite of this and throw it away." Like that's what they all probably did.
Yeah. Because they were trying. Because they did want them to try the food, and they knew that.
They also had sweet potato fries, which was another weird thing. Sweet potato fries are an acquired taste.
And
I don't like them.
Like those.
I like baked sweet potatoes, but I don't like sweet potato fries. I'd rather have regular ones.
I don't know if they've even had any. If I've had it, I've just tried one. So I can't really say, but I don't think kids would like. I think they just like regular fries. Well, so anyway, Chef Gordon, what they had to do was, when 30 minutes was up before the kids came to eat, they had to have their whole meal, one meal ready so the judges could taste it and make suggestions or corrections. Excuse me. And so they said that the sweet potato fries shouldn't be wedges, which they were, that they should make them more like fries, right?
Yeah.
So that's what their correction was. And not to start these smash burgers so early.
And so they had a great menu. They had a kids menu, although the coleslaw, not really
and
kids.
The sweet potato fries were okay. And the only one person said something bad about them, that they didn't care for sweet potato fries.
But the problem with the red team was that the captain was not a good captain, and it was unfortunate because I thought that this guy was one of the better chefs until now.
Yeah.
But he was terrible. He was quiet. He was passive aggressive, or just passive, and
well, I don't know. He put Bren on the smash burgers.
Yeah, and she was already on the verge of suicide when she got traded.
Well,
like, you know, she felt like the bullied girl.
She
but then
admittedly said she'd never made a smash burger in her life.
Yeah, so when she got put on the grill, she really looked like she was about to want to, you know, kick the bucket.
But she admitted it. And she begged everybody else, is there anybody else that could cook these? I don't know how to cook smash burgers.
She was really sad.
And they had one guy cooking them. I don't understand what happened with that. Wasn't he still cooking them, or did he need help?
No, there was this other guy who came up, or a girl, I can't remember, and they actually volunteered to replace Bren and do that.
Okay.
I can't remember who it was, though.
Well.
Who? Let's see.
I don't know.
Where's your rankings? Because
we ranked all the contestants so far in the competition.
We wanted to figure out who's the best one there. Like who's even like Masterchef top material.
Well, I picked her.
Yeah.
Also, the man who cooked the hamburgers.
Yeah, the corn guy. The corn. That's not how you spell the suicidal girl's name. You're gonna really kill her now.
Well, anyway, we'll talk about that after.
It might have been the girl who just likes to have fun.
Oh, that would be Lizzie.
Yeah, she just likes to have fun. She doesn't have 6 kids. She just likes fun.
Well, she's always smiling, and she has a very good, positive, good attitude. So, okay, so anyway, the chicken meal was a disaster. That's what it never looked appetizing. That chicken never, and even the guy cooking, and they did this reverse sear or whatever, he was not happy. In the middle of it, he said, I just feel so much pressure, I don't feel good about this. So he admitted it, but I don't understand why, because he was cooking something. He usually maybe cooks beef or pork. I don't know what he meant by that, but he admittedly was not doing well. He felt it. He knew it. So they went around, of course, when the kids get their food. They ask them, what they like, what's good, because they try both meals. And the kids like the hamburgers. The
Yeah, duh.
burgers. They did not. Very few of them like the chicken. But then the way they voted is they had two. They had the red team like a basket and a net behind it on both sides. A red one and a blue one.
They threw balls.
Yeah, they threw balls into the baskets, and if they liked the blue team's food, they threw balls in the blue team's side, and if they liked the red team's food, they threw it in their basket. And remember, the red team is the hamburger or smash burger. I've never even eaten one because
I haven't.
And then the blue team is the chicken. And I'm just saying chicken and the smash burger, even though they both had fries, they had coleslaw, but the kids didn't mention any of that other stuff. Not really. That one girl said something about the sweet potato fries, but that was one person.
They did say, the judges did say the sauce for the fries from your Master Crush was good.
Which I've never heard of cooking an oddball sauce, but they do
oddball sauce?
Well, I'd say it's an oddball sauce because, I think kids like to eat French fries and ketchup.
No, well, not all the time. Like, I like, when I went to Wendy's, I would get nuggets and ranch, and
yeah,
I would.
That's nuggets.
I would dip the fries in the ranch too.
Oh, okay.
I would do double.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know, but they never mentioned anything but the main course.
Yeah.
And so, almost all the tables, they would say almost everybody liked the hamburgers, not the chicken.
Duh.
But then you saw them throwing balls, and there were people throwing them in the chicken side. So I'm like, what's going on here?
And even Safi's Master Crush at the end, she's like, yeah, kids like hamburgers. Duh.
Yeah, and at the end, the Alabama girl says, I guess I should have thought more about the kids and not myself. Meaning
that was the funniest line of the whole season so far.
Hell? He told them, Chef Ramsay told them again. Remember, this is a menu for kids.
Yeah.
Kids. They're the grade school kids. They're not even high school or middle school, I don't think. They were grade school kids.
Safi, kids, what do you think of the Subway guy? I'm just kidding.
Marco, what are you doing?
Well, it's true. Safi.
Anyway, okay,
what do you think of? You think of hamburger, macaroni and cheese, fries.
Yeah, they could have made macaroni and cheese.
Fucking
Unless they didn't
nuggets, pizza. My favorite food as a kid is still my favorite food, which is spaghetti. So, I wasn't
No, they're not going to make spaghetti at a field challenge.
Well, I'm just saying, like, not all kids would say, like, macaroni and cheese and chicken nuggets are their favorite food.
I would have thought, mac and cheese. They could have made that if they're so big on cheese. So anyway, guess what team won and guess which one lost. And one more thing is the woman with the 6 kids. Does she ever take her kids out to eat at a fast food place? I just once a year.
Safi, she has 6 kids.
Yeah, she said that like twice. And then somebody else that we've already mentioned this.
She has 6 kids.
And with that many kids, you would know they don't eat 2 kinds of slaw, or no, not carrot salad, a slaw, and then crappy chicken, grilled chicken, and French fries with a oddball sauce. And come on, what's the matter with you? I just couldn't believe it. Just to keep thinking about that freaks me out.
And the Alabama girl was a terrible captain too.
Yeah, she was very childish and weak.
She really, really, like, both these captains, you know,
terrible.
They revealed themselves this episode. They were exposed. And
they were both weak.
Thankfully not. And
Marco was cheering for the hamburger side right off the bat.
Well, I was like, no, I don't want the red team. I don't want that captain to win. I just want the blue team to lose.
Yeah, whatever. But it was so anyway, the red team, the Smashburger team won, which I really wasn't sure because they, like I said, although they were going around all the tables and they were saying, most everybody was saying they liked the hamburgers. You have people throwing stuff in the other team's basket. So I thought, well, Marco, let go. So anyway, that was that. They had a baseball player, and I'm sorry I don't know his name. I'm not a National League person, but I guess he's a really good baseball player. He was very tall, and his wife was there. They both facilitated the challenge. They both went around to the tables and asked the kids about which foods they liked, and then he and a pitcher, he batted, and then somebody on their Dodgers team, I don't know who it was, I'm sorry, he tossed the ball to him, and when he hit the thing, it made a red poof, meaning the red team won.
So I would give the episode an A- because I thought it was a good episode. There wasn't as much bad stuff in it that, irritated me, and I was very happy with the blue team losing. And then, of course, Mr. Grill, the last grill guy, was gone.
That's right. And he's the one from Mississippi. And he always has a, I don't know what you want to call it, a mean look on his face.
Yeah.
A somewhat mean look. But he was very gracious, and he thought he said the South will prevail, and I'm like, I don't know about that. I'm not sure who's going to prevail because I ranked the play. We both ranked the players, and I thought Kennedy would be good, and who else? I mean, I don't even know who else.
Look at your list.
Well, I can look at my list all day long. And
look at it right now. That's why we did it. I put in last place. Do we both have the same last place?
I put Madame Donut.
Yeah, I put her as the worst one.
She could have stepped up. I don't know if she has kids. I don't know what the deal is with her. But she did not step up. And last week, for this challenge, and
this is why last week you should have sent her home instead of Kyle.
She screwed up the easiest dessert that there was on a whole table full of unbelievable cakes. She screws up key lime pie, and so
I put Wayne from Columbus as number one, which it seems like he's gotten better now because he just cooks and he doesn't say to the camera a bunch of weird things.
Stupid stuff about, I don't even want to say it.
Pumpkin festival, pumpkin risotto. He's doing a lot better, and at some point he actually started becoming the team captain, which was kind of hilarious. He was like, Mushroom Man's just gonna joke with the kids, so I'm gonna try to do stuff. And I put the suicidal girls number 2, just so that she doesn't jump off a cliff today.
I put the man who cooked the hamburgers. I put him as number 2 because he's been, even though I did not like his judgment about cooking the hamburgers 45 minutes early, I thought that was idiotic. He changed, they told him not to do it, and he stopped. He stopped doing it, but he was a little bit tentative about the same thing that everybody has who cooks a Thanksgiving meal or an Easter meal or any kind of meal where there's several different dishes, and they have to all come out at the same time, and they all have to be warm, and that's always everybody has that problem. So You could tell, though, that he had a problem with it. Okay, and my third place is what Marco put. I put Bren. Marco keeps calling her suicidal girl. But she's actually, but I really admired her for saying, she said, I cannot make smash burgers. I've never made them. I don't feel comfortable. And she made one. It was all raw. And, of course, Chef Ramsay had a cow because he saw that. But she was not hiding the fact she could not do this. And that the mushroom captain, I'll call him that because that's what he had made the very first time, he's the one that changed her up and put her on there. And like, why? And she's like, why did you put me on these smash burgers? I've never made one in my life. So she admitted it. So I gave her props for that. So,
and I put Safi's Master Crush, her Master Crush, I put her in number 3. So those are the top 3.
And I put Wayne at number 4. I don't even know. And Wayne is the Columbus guy.
He made the fries.
Oh, okay. Well, I put him at number 4. I didn't even know what he did.
He probably could have done them with his eyes closed because he basically, he didn't have a hard time at all.
And then for the fifth place, I put the Viking Northeast girl, but I fault her in that she's been pretty good, but why doesn't she know that a kid would not eat red cabbage slaw? I mean, I just like, what's wrong with her? What'd you put for the 5th place person?
Well, I don't know. I don't have my list.
Well, here, look at my phone.
I think because at one point I was wondering why didn't they make like a fruit, like a grilled pineapple, and then Colby said that. He said, why don't we make grilled pineapple as a side? And they're like, yeah.
Which wasn't, I guess Madame Donut was on the other team, but I would think of all people, she's from Hawaii, she would say like a grilled fruit. So I don't know, but she wasn't on that side anyway, so I think.
And then after that, I think I put the girl who likes to have fun. That's
Lizzie. She's always smiling.
She just likes to have fun.
She's cooked some good things, but I have her as 6th. And then I have Colby at 7th. I put him in the middle.
Yeah, and then after that, it's kind of like, whatever.
Colby did suggest the pineapple, which they didn't do, but he didn't really say much. He had immunity, and I just felt like he said he wanted to keep the South together. That's why he did the switch that he did. He didn't switch anybody out from the South. So, I think that's why. In fact, it would have been interesting if he would have switched the grill guy out, but then who would have he gotten in place? Who could have cooked that chicken? I mean, if they're going to cook grilled chicken, if they would, I do want to say that on the losing team, the New Orleans lady, she had suggested fried chicken, but it was too late. Oh, I think I did say that.
Yeah, you did.
They wouldn't do it. They said it was too late. So she did say that, but anyway, let's see. I put the mushroom guy. He was the captain of the red team, and all he did was joke around with the kids and kind of put the foods on the plate. But he didn't. He just made bad decisions, and he was weak. And so I have him, and I haven't been very impressed with him since that first time. So I have him after Colby, and then I have the Alabama girl next.
She was a huge disappointment.
She was a terrible disappointment because she admittedly said,
I guess I shouldn't have been thinking about myself, and I should have been thinking about the kids instead.
Is that how she sounds?
Whatever. And Chef Ramsay told them at the outset, this is for kids, so make a kids menu.
That's like, it was really funny. It's like it's like she wasn't listening, or she was too busy thinking about her her pay what you can restaurant. And so she's like, fuck them kids. I want to have grilled chicken and 2 vegetables and shit. Like, ugh.
Bizarre. And then I put Jennifer, who Marco calls the Karen girl.
She has 6 kids.
She's third to the last, and then Cambodian guy is next to the last.
Yeah, I put him next to the last.
Because he hasn't done anything. Except that one food at the very beginning, which was his own ethnic food. And then Madame Donut, like we said, we both put her last. So, I don't know what they're doing next week. Do you know?
I can't remember.
I don't remember seeing it.
They had a trailer.
I know, and I don't remember the trailer.
Oh, they're cooking with MREs.
Oh, yeah. A chef who makes foods out of MREs. You know, meals ready to eat for military personnel. And they have to get those and make something better out of them.
Yeah. So, Safi, would you like to end now so that you can cough all you want?
I'm miserable.
Really?
Get off of me now.
Ow. I was trying to see what your note said. You wouldn't let me.
You want me to...
I wanted to see, like... Alabama girl. Terrible menu judgment, but at least admired it. Admitted it. So anyways, that's another week down, and another week that girl... another week that girl has not hung herself, so that's good.
Well, it's really hard. It was really hard to rank people because this really isn't a very good group.
Well, there's 3 who stick out, and that's it. Now.
You know, they're
like,
very...
they got rid of Kyle, so...
dull.
They wanted to get rid of Kyle for some reason, so... Big mistake.
I just wonder how many more mistakes Jennifer will make before they get rid of her.
Oh, I know. Well,
The mother of
probably.
6 kids.
It's like, you know, they probably rate her like a 9 out of 10, you know, in terms of her looks. And so probably every mistake she makes is like a subtraction from their rating. So like, she's not a 9 out of 10 anymore. She's only an 8 out of 10. Uh-oh, she made another mistake. Now she's only a 7. You know, that's probably how they treat... Because that's genuinely what happens with these women that they find attractive. They're like... She can make a lot of mistakes, and that just says, like... They subtract from that 9 out of 10 that they give her. Or, what do you think, Si? Do you think Joe gives her a 10 out of 10?
I don't know what Joe does. He's...
Because he definitely gave...
bad attitude.
He definitely gave that military interrogator woman a 10 out of 10. You know, that blonde woman from the other season?
Yeah.
That he found attractive?
Yeah,
he gave her a 10.
She had a little bit better judgment than the mother of
Did
6.
she?
I thought she did.
Oh, yeah. I guess.
I just don't understand how a mother of 6 would think her children would pick grilled chicken.
Well, she does have 6 kids.
But I don't...
Did you know that?
It's hard to believe somebody with 6 kids would have that, make that kind of judgment. I mean, I realize, and I was the same way, I didn't take my kids out to eat, to get fast food. The first one is, we didn't take them out constantly, but once a year, even once a year, would your kids order grilled chicken?
Well, the thing is that the thing that's funny is that, like, if you don't take your kid out to eat fast food, they can eat a can of beefaroni. And it's like, are you really going to tell me that a can of beefaroni is healthier than a meal at McDonald's? No. Sorry.
Yeah.
But beefaroni was good. Like, they could have given these kids beefaroni and it would have been a better meal than what they came up with.
That chicken it never looked good. from the very beginning. There was never a time looking at it that it looked good.
I felt bad
Ever.
for all those chickens who died for this terrible meal.
I wondered, and when they showed the trailer for this episode last week, if you looked to see the trailer for it, like, I'm going to look at the MRE one again, but
Really?
you saw the chicken, and there was something that they were saying, and you knew that it's going to be a failure.
And you knew that they thought,
why, I don't know.
we should not have gotten rid of Kyle. We should not have done that.
Kyle was the Kansas City guy. And what do Kansas City people know? Barbecue.
Whoops.
They really do.
Whoopsie.
They know beef and they know barbecue, but they also know chicken. And grilled chicken just doesn't... it just freaks me out.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine any kid on this planet ordering grilled chicken, carrot salad, coleslaw, and then fries. I just don't, just where do you get that? Where do you get that? How'd they come up with that? And I'm just like, God, what was wrong with them?
I think, do you think they're allowed to have joints on the set? Because that's the
I don't
only
know,
way
isn't
that I could-
marijuana legal in California? I don't know, I'm not positive. It's not legal everywhere, I don't
It should be.
I don't know if
It should be.
I don't pay attention to that. So, I guess for medical use, we have CBD, but of course that's only a little.
Well, I just think, you have to be on something to come up with that bad of a menu.
I don't know what they were on, or maybe they needed to be on it to come up with more palatable menu for children.
Maybe she could have asked her 6 kids what they should do. Do a
Well,
video call.
It doesn't surprise me, too, that she would not. In a way, I'm sorry. Remember, she made risotto and greens.
Well,
Something else that last episode.
let's forget about that, Safi.
And that's who does that? Stupid.
Let's just forget about it.
Okay, well, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and become one of our subscribers so we can hear your feedback about Masterchef.
You're going to be watching Your Honor, Safi.
Oh boy, I'm really excited.
The finale, one of the 2 terrible finales.
God.
So goodbye,
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.